Welcome to episode 12, the final explainer of our series. Over the last 11 episodes, we've broken down every single strategy, rule, and financial mechanic you need to build multi-generational wealth in Singapore. Today? Well, today we are bringing it all together into one ultimate master plan.
Here is exactly what we are covering today. First, the 20-year asset roadmap. Second, managing the property risks. Third, estate planning and wealth transfer. And fourth, your 30-day action plan. Let's dive right in.
Over $2 million. Just let that sink in for a second. That is the triumphant endgame equity that a young couple could achieve over 20 to 25 years, provided they follow this strategy with absolute discipline. That's not just money, that is life-changing, multi-generational wealth. Let's map out exactly how you get there.
Section 1. The 20-year asset roadmap. Let's recap the journey of our couple from the source material, Alex and May. It all kicks off in years 0 to 2. This is the foundation phase. You're getting that HFE letter, building the CPF ordinary account, and saving up an initial $30,000 in cash. Then years 2 to 11, that's your BTO journey. You apply, wait out the construction, and clear that strict 5-year minimum occupation period. Next, years 11 to 16 are all about the essential occupier upgrade. You move into a resale HDB to free up one spouse as a first-time private buyer. And that directly funds years 12 to 17, which is your entry into the executive condominium or private condo market. By years 17 to 22, you're sitting in the private condo wealth stage, holding for appreciation and racking up rental income. Finally, years 20 to 25 bring you to the ultimate landed property endgame. You sell the condo and you secure that freehold legacy asset.
And here is where the magic really happens, the equity snowball. You see, during that first BTO phase, you're looking at your initial pot of gold. That's a $200,000 to $450,000 capital gain. Then the resale HDB upgrade tacks on another $100 to $200,000. Entering the private market, boom, another $300,000 to $500,000. Over the course of 20 to 25 years, that equity scales from $200,000 to $500,000 to $1 million, all the way to over $2 million. Every single step strictly funds the next. Your profits are constantly, efficiently recycling upward.
Section 2. Managing the property risks. So, what are the specific risks you absolutely must manage? Because honestly, having a big dream without any protection is just dangerous. The open market is completely unforgiving if you slip up, so let's ground this in reality for a minute. First up, we've got two huge financial traps: the negative cash sale. This happens when your CPF accrued interest actually exceeds your net sale proceeds, which basically leaves you holding zero cash in hand. The fix? Always model your CPF accrued interest before you buy. Then there's the ABSD trap. Buying a second property before selling your first triggers a brutal 20% additional buyer stamp duty. The solution here is straightforward. Sell your existing property first, or utilize that essential occupier strategy we talked about so one spouse legally counts as a first-time buyer.
Next, you have to think about debt management. Over-leveraging is a killer. It leaves you with zero buffer if your income drops. You really want to keep your monthly mortgage below 35% of your income. Please, never push it to the 55% legal maximum. Combine that with the very real risk of interest rate spikes. You shield your portfolio by stress testing your mortgage before you sign anything. Ask yourself, can you actually afford the payments if rates jump by 2%? And as a rule of thumb, always choose a fixed rate for the first 2 to 3 years of any private property loan to cap your downside.
Finally, we have the external curveballs: job loss and policy changes. Corporate life here in Singapore can turn on a dime. To insulate yourself from a sudden loss of income, you need to build a rental income stream from your properties, so your mortgage is covered no matter what happens at the office. And as for policy changes? Well, take the new 10-year MOP rule for ECs launching from May 2026. The government can and will change the rules. You have to stay informed. Subscribe to URA and HDB updates, and keep an eye on portals like Property Guru and EdgeProp.
Section 3. Estate planning and wealth transfer. Okay, so you've navigated the risks and you've reached the landed property endgame. Amazing! Now you need professional estate planning to protect it all. There's a critical legal term you need to know: intestate. That means dying without a will. If that happens here in Singapore, your entire $2 million estate gets chopped up and distributed according to the Intestate Succession Act, which might completely contradict what you actually wanted. Getting a simple will drawn up by a lawyer costs between $200 and $500. Just do it. It is absolutely non-negotiable.
Next up is the family trust. Think of this like an impenetrable vault for the wealth you just spent a quarter of a century building. A trust can securely hold a freehold landed property for your future generations, it legally protects those assets from creditors, and it lets you manage the actual transfer of wealth with crystal clear, unbreakable conditions.
So here are the 4 exact legal guardrails you need to put up. 1. Make a will. 2. Set up that family trust. 3. Make a CPF nomination. This one is huge because your CPF savings and housing refunds actually cannot be transferred through a standard will. If you skip this, that money goes to the public trustee and can take years to distribute. And 4. Establish a lasting power of attorney, or LPA, so someone you trust can manage your finances if you're ever incapacitated.
Section 4. Your 30-day action plan.
We've built a tight 4-week schedule specifically designed to cure analysis paralysis. Week 1, you assess your finances. Week 2, you build the foundation. Week 3, you gather intel. And Week 4, you lock down your legal strategy. All right, Weeks 1 and 2, your immediate marching orders. Log into the CPF portal and check that ordinary account balance today. Calculate your exact household income. Figure out if you're hitting those BTO or EC ceilings. Check your credit score for free at cbs.sg. In Week 2, get onto My HDB page and apply for your HDB flat eligibility, your HFE letter. And finally, open a separate savings account. Literally, name it your property war chest and automate $500 to $1,000 a month into it.
Moving into Weeks 3 and 4, it's about turning yourself into an educated buyer who is ready to strike. Bookmark the official HDB and URA websites, plus SRX and EdgeProp. Subscribe to a solid property newsletter so the market data just comes straight to your inbox. Sit down, have a serious talk with your spouse and a lawyer about the essential occupier scheme. And finally, get that will and CPF nomination finalized.
Bringing this entire 12-part journey full circle. $30,000. That's it. A multi-million-dollar freehold legacy actually begins with just a modest $30,000 in cash savings during that foundation phase. That is exactly where our couple, Alex and May, started.
You know, the difference between people who build generational wealth and those who don't? It's not a massive salary. It's not luck. It is purely knowledge combined with insane discipline and a long-term plan. As our source material perfectly sums it up, it is a 20-year journey, but it starts with one step.
You've got the complete roadmap now. The step-by-step knowledge is yours. The discipline? Well, that's entirely up to you. So I'll leave you with one final thought. What will your future self thank you for starting today? Thank you so much for following along with this Explainer series. Now get to work on that action plan and let's build that legacy.